welcome to the third episode of Shop Talk. I'm here with Sophia. Say hi.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to have you. So today, the art that we're going to be doing together is goth makeup. Yeah.
Funky fun.
Yeah.
I love a goth makeup.
It's going to be so much fun. Okay, so where are you from?
I'm from Tampa, Florida. Am I allowed to curse?
Yes.
Okay. I'm from Tampa, Florida. Born and raised. My family's from Cyprus, though.
Starting off with the questions. You've said that in your art you like shock factor. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
I think for me, one of the biggest things is I found that people are more often receptive when they're like disturbed or shocked or taken aback by something.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're looking at something for a long time that's like pretty to look at, and not that that art isn't valid, but
Yeah.
I feel like there's less of an initial sort of emotion.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to invoke that emotion specifically because a lot of my art is like darker subject matter, I guess. I'm a very happy person, but I tend to gravitate towards those things.
Yeah. You recently were working on a sculpture of a bench with like mold and like fungus growing off of it. Can you explain that what that sculpture meant to you or what the point of it was?
There's a few different things there. I'm big on practicing impermanence. I'm a huge fan of impermanence. I love impermanence, hence why I shaved my head. But with that, it's kind of a commentary on how a lot of times things will live their course, and if you keep indulging in them past their course, it becomes rotten almost.
Yeah.
So sometimes things need to be done. Things need to be finished. That applies for me to relationships, friendships, romantic, like things. Like I get rid of a lot.
Yeah.
Which is it's hard, but once you start doing it, it's huge. And then another big thing is the candles. In my culture, a candle indicates a soul. Every time you go into church or at a home, there's a candle for a person that died. You light a candle for a person that died, or we have like altars. And with that piece, it was kind of as if the light was burning for eternity. And it was on a bench. One seat was empty, even that person was still alive, and the candle that was burning was dead. In working with it, I bought like 5 pounds of beeswax, started boiling it all, started melting it all, started pouring it on, and then like only like the very minute piece of the bench was covered, and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna need like a million times more than this.
Yeah.
So it took a while, but it ended up looking good. I'm big on art that's temporary, and with that piece specifically, it's the candles are meant to be lit, and with that piece specifically, it's like once the candles go out, it's done.
So you have a makeup account on Instagram where you post all your different looks.
Follow Sophia Serves Face.
Yeah. What inspires you the most when you're creating a new look, or does it just come naturally?
These always happen at literally like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and they're followed by a whole photo shoot by myself. But mostly it's kind of just what I'm feeling. I'm non-binary, so a lot of times the femme to mask spectrum comes into play with that. I could be like very, very hyper feminine, or I could be a little more silly and do like a costume makeup thing. Like I did Voldemort 2 days ago.
I saw that. That was so good.
But it's essentially, like I said earlier, it's just like playing dress up. It's fun, and I think it's the same sort of temporary art. It's like I'm painting for hours, and then I wash it off. Like I take a few pictures, I wash it off. Sometimes I don't even take pictures. I didn't think it would go that far. People are like hiring me now to do their makeup.
Dang.
Yeah.
You're getting work?
Yeah, a lot of Halloween makeup. People, it's perfect time for me. Perfect time. But when I was little, I did SFX makeup, which I'm looking to get into. I know they have classes here. But yeah, it's just fun. It's just straight fun.
You mentioned in your submission that you also like to create music. What kind of music are you interested in creating?
Think like Grimes. Yeah. And that is the music I create. I'm trying to incorporate more like church sounds, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
Because I grew up in church, and I did have a really good experience, and I feel like a lot of people didn't.
Yeah.
I love church. I wasn't forced to go. We went on some holidays. I'm Greek Orthodox. We went on certain
interesting.
holidays, and my family was very receptive if we wanted to believe something else. No, but I had an idea for an album what I wanted to create called Bayou Boy. We have Epiphany in our religious culture, but it's like the thing with Greek religion, and it was the same way in the ancient times. Like it was less of a religion and more of a culture. I think some people might disagree, but that's how it was for my family, especially since I'm more Cypriot than I am Greek. We have this tradition called Epiphany where young boys jump into a river or a body of water to die for a blessed cross, and whoever receives the cross gets good luck.
Ooh, interesting.
For the whole year. Yeah, it's insane. All my brothers did it, and I was dying to do it. But actually, in my church back home, it's one of the only churches in the nation that doesn't let women dive. So that was always really hard for me, and I kind of wanted to take that and turn it into something that was mine, because all my brothers, all my male friends that were in the church, they got to say that, oh, this was the thing I did, this was mine, like this was an experience I had. So I kind of wanted to turn it into an album that I created because it's also mine.
Yeah.
And I want to, it's just like, oh, if I grew up in a different place, I would be able to dive. Like, it's so frustrating, but.
Because I use any pronouns. I'm perceived in the world as a woman, and that's fine. But if someone were to perceive me as a man, I'd be completely fine with that.
Yeah.
Or if someone perceived me as nothing.
I get that. Last year I was more on the she/he spectrum. And it's upsetting because people think if you present yourself as a woman, you're less trans or you're less
non-binary.
Exactly. And it's like, I present myself as a woman as like a game. Like I was saying, it's dress up. It's literally cosplay to me. It's fun, Yeah.
I have a drag look that I've kept under wraps, but sometimes when I'm feeling really dysphoric.
Do you have a name?
I don't have a name, but I think if I were to do one, I'd do Cardinal Desires, because cardinal, the bird.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Because you're a bird.
Yeah, it's literally, the shit that we have to go through as female presenting people is any female presenting people.
Yeah.
It's you have to kind of prove that you're worthy of being at the table every single day. And it's really frustrating sometimes.
That's part of how I present myself the way I present myself.
Right.
I really don't care if I'm beautiful or not. And it's the fact that that's where the basis of compliments come from is it matters, Yeah. But it simply does not. There's this I'd say a model makeup artist on Instagram called Ugly Worldwide, and she is kind of the same way in which that she is just an avatar.
Yeah.
She very much just decorates herself and adorns herself, and I think that's the most beautiful thing. She's a different person every day, and when people tell me that, I'm okay, thank you, because it's I really can pull everything off, and I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna prove. Another piece I did, if we want to talk about that.
Of course.
I did a mold of my boobs.
I also did a mold of my boobs.
Yeah, but what did you use?
I used plaster.
I used wire, which was painful, but it was
I bet.
I'm very much. Do you still have it?
I do. It's in my room.
I need to make one because I'm getting a breast reduction, so I really want
Good for you.
an official. Yeah, just because I have so much back problems. It's honestly surprisingly not for gender reasons. I mean, it definitely helps, but it's mostly back problems. Also, I lost an absurd amount of weight, so they're literally just sacks right now.
Yeah.
And I definitely, I will say I feel self-conscious about them, very. And it's also it's part of the discomfort I feel presenting the way I present. People always want to comment on my boobs. Always.
No, same. I'm a G cup, so
dressed
at least twice a day. It comes up in conversation.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know. Just I'm more than that,
Yeah.
And I find myself bringing it up if it's not being brought up, because I just feel so uncomfortable when no one's mentioning it, because I'm
right.
It's obviously there, and I know you're all looking, I
Right.
just don't, like, I don't know what to say.
And for me, it's kind of like I did it with a wire armature because I feel like we talked a lot about like cyber feminism. I wanted sort of like a mechanical armature underneath simply because it's like I've reached a point where I feel like my body isn't my own. Last year, I did a performance piece where I was dancing to the sound of my own moans.
Yeah, I heard that you did that completely nude.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then I did a piece last year. Oh, and that kind of ties into like how I feel like my body is not my own. Where it's kind of like I didn't feel uncomfortable doing that at all because
Yeah.
it's not mine anymore, you know? And
It's
that
everybody else's.
yeah, and that is also sad to think about, but it's like that's not really reversible. And I don't necessarily want it to be. There are things that are my own, but my body I could care less about.
Yeah.
You know? But I texted my mom a picture of the piece I did with my boobs and the blood, and she was like, why do you always have to use blood? Like my boobs birthed you. And I'm like, why do you see blood as death? You know?
Exactly.
To me, blood is life, and I think it's a positive thing. I mean, in some cases, but when I use it in my work, I see it as a positive thing, and I kind of just wish people saw it like that too, because otherwise my work is just extremely depressing, which I don't think it is personally. I think a lot of the source work for my work comes from like the most awful experiences I've had, but I want to turn it into something beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's sad to me when people see it as a sad thing, but I get it.
Do you think collaborative arts has helped you feel free in your creative expression?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I feel like anything goes. Literally anything goes. My makeup looks boof, but it's like I don't really care. I'm just talking. Like
Literally,
yours looks good. Like you should do this. See, drag is just. I mean, goth is drag to me.
Goth is drag.
Goth is literally just drag, and that's why I love it.
You mentioned that you like to touch on stigmatized topics or sensitive topics. Do you have any other topics that you find yourself coming back to a lot?
I think with the boob thing, especially gender, abuse. The piece where I got fully nude was more of a commentary on porn. Like you'll go home and watch this very violent thing, this woman like putting on a performance. But when it's right in front of you in a different setting, it's like, oh wow, like this is gross. Like she's gross. Like she's a whore. Like the fact that she would do this in front of people in our class, like, I don't know. Thankfully that class was almost entirely women, but that kind of defeated the point to me.
Yeah.
Like I did want men to see that. And I've told that to people and they're like, oh, like you just want men to see your body. And I was like, and it's like that's part of sort of the sacrifice like I was talking about that I make daily to either dress how I want to and get very uncomfortable and people approach me and touch me and whatever. It was kind of like that. Like I have to, the comments are going to happen and I know they're going to happen and I know people are going to think what they want to think. But I know at the end of the day, that discourse is exactly what I want. And I can always make the choice to not do it, but
We go through so much.
So
it's like,
and I don't think there's anything, this was a Druckmann's class on a performance. I think everyone should take that class. But beforehand, I had asked him like if he was okay with nudity, and he said yes. And I asked if I should give like a warning or if I had to because it was a class setting. And he had brought up the point like I don't think you should. And I very much agree because I don't think the female body is like something that is censored.
yeah.
It's everywhere. It's commercialized. People love it. Like I said, people go home and watch it. Like this is like couples therapy right now, guys.
This is like couples therapy.
Guys, break up if you need to break up. Don't lead a person on. And
Never let your
literally-
boyfriend get in the way of you finding your wife.
Never let your boyfriend get in the way of you finding your wife. And I'm developing a crush, and it's the first crush I've had since the relationship. So I'm like,
Is it on someone in collaborative arts?
no, but it isn't a collab arts class. But it's not someone in collab arts. Oh wait, I did have a crush on someone in collab arts though, but it was less serious.
Can I know?
He's
Me
so
too.
cute.
Me too. Me too.
He's so cute. Like honestly, like if I got with him, everyone would understand.
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
like
no, he's so
no one.
cute.
He's such a cutie pie. And there are very few men where I'm kind of like, oh, like I would be with you romantically.
So we're nearing the end of the pod.
Lit.
Do you have any platforms you'd like to shout out? Any
Yes.
upcoming projects that you want everyone to know about?
Yes. I'm working on a few songs. I want to make a bunch before I actually release any. A lot of that will be advertised on my Instagram at SophMan1. Not a one like the number, one like WUN. If you follow Earl Sweatshirt, that's where that comes from. My makeup account is Sophia Surfs Face. My art account is Sophia Art, SOPHIUH Art. And then my poetry account is Poemtree8. I'm tapped in. I'm so tapped into social media. I'm past the point of embarrassment. Like, I'm so obsessed with myself. I'm past the point of embarrassment. Like, should I post 5 selfies today? I will.
Yeah, you should.
And it's like, my biggest thing is like, well, people think I'm annoying. It's my account. It's literally my Instagram. Like, if you're annoyed, like, mute me or unfollow me. Like, I won't be upset. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's my account. I forget that so many of the time. So many of the times.
You also have a TikTok.
Oh, I have a
Shout that
TikTok.
out.
I do. It's Sophia Cost No Fia. Sophia with a PH, like all the rest. Cost No PHIA. I get an occasional video that blows up.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast. I'm so
This
happy
was
that I
so
had you.
fun,
This
and
was so much fun.
we were literally just kikiing, and I love that.
I know.
And I want us to kiki outside of the confines of a podcast.
I would literally love to. Anytime.
And
All right.
if anyone needs their Halloween makeup done, hit me up.
Yes. They're free. All right. So thank you guys for listening. I hope you have a great day. And don't forget to disappoint your fathers.
Always.
Always. Bye.
Shop talk. I hope you